Hey everyone, it's Alma with the Cat's Pajamas, and today I want to show you how to create this acetate card using our Build a Snowman stamp set. Start with white cardstock and heavy acetate, both 4 1/4 by 11 inches. Score 5 1/2 on each piece and fold in half. For this card, we'll be using our Build a Snowman stamp set. It has 2 shapes and tons of things to build any kind of snowman you want, like eyes, hats, mouths, arms, snowman stuff. This card is going to use masks. So first, we're going to make the masks. And for this, we'll use Post-it notes. Use quick drying dye ink to stamp the top hat and the carrot nose over the area of the Post-it note that has glue on the back. Use detail scissors to cut along the outside edge of the stamp. That is to say, you're cutting right on the black stamped image. Now set each of these aside so you don't lose them. I like to just put them back on the acetate sheet with the stamp set. That way I can use them over and over again if I need to. For the snowman body, carefully peel it away from the backing. You'll notice that it's hollow, and that makes it flexible. I can make the snowman tall and skinny or short and fat. That's the beauty of this set. I think I'm going to give my guy some shoulders and lean him to one side. And since I want to put the hat on, I'm going to make sure the head still fits the hat. So let's stamp. Open up the card with the fold toward the bottom and ink up the hat with Marvy ink. And since I'm going to be coloring with Copics, Marvy is the perfect choice. It won't run or bleed. Since I'm stamping the snowman next, I'll add the hat mask so the snowman doesn't ink in the hat. Now line up the outline of the snowman with the points on the left and the right bottom of the hat. And remove the mask. If you don't get it perfect, it's okay. You can fudge a little bit when you color the snowman. Now the snowman nose. And then the mask. You may not need it depending on what eyes you choose. So to be on the safe side, I'm masking the nose. And now the eyes. And the coal mouth. And a jaunty little bow tie. And now for the arms. For the one on the right, I'm only going to ink half of the arm, and since I can see it through the stamp and where the ink is, I can position it perfectly. And finally, the arm in front. This looks pretty cute. Now for the coloring. Yellow and orange for the nose. And some 10% warm gray, just to put down some shadows on the snowman. And then I'm going to darken it up a bit with some 20% warm gray. Blend it in a little bit. And then 2 colors for the hat band of green. And also the bow tie. When I'm coloring the hat band, I'm leaving a little line of white going vertical through it for the highlight. And now for the hat. I start with 40% warm gray, coloring the hat and feathering it into a highlight that lines up with the green highlight that I put into the hat band. Now some 70% warm gray, feathering it into the highlight, but leaving a little bit of the 40% warm gray showing. And now black. And I'm going to do the same thing, leaving a little bit of the 40% and the 70% gray showing right by the highlight. Now I'll just use a little bit of the 40% gray to blend it in a little bit. Looks good. I'll just darken up the shadows of the snowman. And then don't forget to put shadows underneath the carrot, the bow tie, and his mouth. Done! Now we'll be using the Hill and Dale cut-ups, the Hill one specifically. I'll place the cut-ups on the snowman, and I'll mark where the die will meet the snowman, and fussy cut to about a 1/4 inch past the marks. I'm making sure that the paper is folded and both flaps are getting cut at the same time. Now to die cut, slide the die under the snowman and line up to the marks that I made. I think I need to cut deeper slits, and I'll just adjust the die a little bit, tucking the die behind the snowman. And then I'll just run through the die cut. Now remember the top part of the snowman that we cut off? We're going to die cut that white space using our slime icicle die. Cut both of them at the same time. Now this space next to the snowman could use a sentiment. So I'm going to use Hello Snow from the stamp set and stamp using VersaFine Habanero. Now let's assemble the card. Glue pattern paper on the inside of the acetate. And I'm using Dries Clear glue. Gives me a little bit of lead time to adjust the paper. And I'll put the same type of glue on the inside flaps. This is a really great technique because not only does it strengthen the card or strengthen the acetate, but it hides the Copic coloring mess on the back of the snowman. Now we'll add the icicle to the front with glue. And I want it a little bit lower for a ribbon. And now I'll place the icicles on the inside of the acetate. I'll just add the ribbon. Tie it in a bow. And for a finishing touch, I think I'll add some stickles for some sparkle. Now I think this card needs something else. Perhaps another hill in the back. So I'll just run a piece of 4 1/4 by 3 inch high piece of cardstock through the die cut machine using the Hill cut-ups die. And this is the perfect place to add a sentiment So I'm going to add another sentiment using the VersaFine Habanero. And I'll just attach it to the inside of the card with more glue. I think I'll leave about a ½ inch of the pattern paper showing. There, I like the way that looks. You can find the dies and stamps for this card at the Cat's Pajamas. I hope you give it a try. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great day.